All right, how we going? It's your boy here, Dan, at the B League Says, coming at you with week four's the B League's Pick'em show. It's a show where I'm not quite a host because I don't really have a panel of people here, but it's a host of a show. Either way, welcome to week 4 of the NFL Prop Show for Going for Two Live. I am Dan at the B League Says. Thank you for joining me as always every week. Thank you for those who reached out for Yom Kippur. It was a good fast. As you can see, I have slimmed down from 1 day of fasting. It's a miracle. Yeah, that's exactly why we did it. Either way, we are ready to kick off into week 4's show. Thanks for coming. As always, if this is your first time joining me, get around them, Jared. Yep, get around. We are here. How about them Vikings? They're 1 win behind my Giants. We're all doing well. They'll break it this week. They're going to smack Carolina about, I think. Not to mention, though, an Adam Thielen revenge game where he is going at 1.5x on the touchdown highs on Underdog. Speaking of Underdog, I would be remiss if I don't mention this tweet from Jeff because, maybe he'll dock my pay. There's a joke for everyone that works for Going for Two. We don't get paid. Either way, holy crap! If you've been on the fence about joining Underdog Fantasy, you need to get off the fence for a limited time. You can get up to $500 deposit match through 10-4, #Pick'em. You can, of course, use our promo code GF2 to take advantage. Follow the link. Find Jeff Lambert77 on Twitter or X, if you will. What's up, Gladys? Let's go. Sorry to have missed you guys. We get paid in smiles. Yeah, one of us is smiling. Jamie, thanks very much for coming. Gladys, if you can, please let me know how we did on the props on Monday. I missed Monday's show for Yom Kippur. As I mentioned before, I starved myself to death while not watching Monday Night Football. It was a travesty. I don't even remember who played. It doesn't even matter. We're going to go through. As always, please, when it comes to your props, always cross-reference through other sites, Prize Picks, Thrive, all that sort of stuff, because you can generally see what is and isn't being given. And I'm going to tell you now, a few things have changed already, and I'm going to go over that with you too. But of course, head over to YouTube, hit subscribe. I have no idea. It's okay, guys. Subscribe to our YouTube. Going for Two Live. Come on, find it. You missed a live trade on air last night. We'll speak on it, boys. You got the cheat sheet on Tuesdays. Gladys is running everything up. She's running on 2 shows a week. Carl's in there somewhere. Wednesday night show tonight, Jeff and somebody else and a guest. He's just going to wing it tonight. Good luck with that. Steelers beat the Cleveland Browns. Did they? Jamie, can you confirm? I don't even remember. Either way, get over to our Discord. I'm going to mention that one more time too. Go to our Discord. Go check that one out. That's where you want to be. It's free. And I'm no longer promoting Twitter or X. I'm just not going to. I'm not even going to tell you where to look. I'm not going to do it. I'm just done with it. Let's jump the shot. Anyway, game totals for this week. Game totals this week. Detroit Thursday night at Green Bay, 45 over and under implied total. That's an interesting one. I like Detroit on the road. Jordan Love's been kind of doing better. No, Deshaun Watson lost to the. You got to get off this Deshaun Watson cost of it. He had his best game. They couldn't block. You got to move on, man. You got to move on. In a game where they lost Chubb, you got to move on. That was 2 weeks ago. Either way, Gladys doesn't have to. Her team won. Atlanta at Jacksonville in London, over under implied total 43. I got to tell you, I do not like the line for 68.5 for Calvin Ridley this week. I just don't see it. Struggled to get over 40 yards the last 2 games since his week 1 breakout. Minnesota at Carolina. Like it. They've got to break the duck at one point, Minnesota. I know, Andy Dalton, bro. So I get it. I don't do it too well either. But, Adam Thielen, again, revenge game for him. He's paying 1.5x over at Underdog. If you want to get on that for his touchdown, he scored back-to-back touchdowns so far for the Panthers week 2, week 3. Baltimore at Cleveland, that's an interesting one. Implied total of 41. This happens every year. Baltimore, they lose everyone, and they bring in these old refurbed vets, and then they just do nothing but win. It's the wildest thing. Like they were running Kenyon Drake and Melvin Gordon last week. It's what? And yet they get around. I think Cleveland's going to do them at home. I really think though they're going to get about. Pittsburgh at Houston over under 41. I think this one's going well over. The last two games, Pittsburgh haven't done too well, but Houston have their last two games. I think have been 51 and 54 points implied. Have hit 51 and 54 points in back-to-back weeks. So inside the dome, I can see them getting over on that one. I like Kenny Pickett for 5,100 this week on DFS because that's just an absolute play that no one wants. So with your GPP lineups, you can pair him up with Pickens and Collins and still get under about 16K total with that. Denver at Chicago, 600 yards and 6 touchdowns, Denver, on the ground. What the frick? How do you even, turn up to work? How? Listen, I have a day job, right? Surprise. That's like me dropping a bottle of nitric acid and thinking it's all right. I'm coming to work tomorrow. I'm probably going to get fired. If I went to work and dropped a 4-pack of nitric acid gallons on the ground, potentially could kill everyone around me. And I turned up to work the next day thinking I could still have a job. That's what Denver's done. They're turning up the next day. It's the most ridiculous thing. Over under 46, sure. This is what's going to happen with this game. It's in Chicago. This game is going to either end up with 30 total points or 70 to 80. It's going to be one of those stupid games or really shit. And I can see that happening on one side of it. Look, Denver now, their yards have been giving it up pretty bad now. Most yards, rushing yards, most touchdowns, most receiving yard touchdowns as well. So Roschon Johnson this week is a play for me. I know a lot of people want to get on different running backs. And nobody got fired. Exactly. Unbelievable. Browns only allowed 21 first downs and 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. So their defense is ridiculous. I say this every year. They say, their defense is getting better, but then sometimes they go 6 and 10. Or 6 and 11, whatever it is. Their defense gets better. They just can't. I get it. They're such a hard team to gauge, the Browns. I don't know how you support them. I'm at least a Giants fan. I can walk away every week. I could care less. But Browns fans are hardcore. I got the Knicks coming up. I can move on. Rangers. Whatever. I don't have to care that much. You Browns fans are right in it. You guys are loyal. I'll give you that. Washington at Philly, Sam Howell's moved from 220 down to 213 yards, which I just don't care for him this week. He's averaging around 220 a game anyway. Philly been stifling everyone this week. Was it Baker Mayfield? But the past 2 games, they gave up 300 week 1, week 2. Cincinnati at Tennessee. Ugh. Next. Tampa at New Orleans, over under 40. Ugh. Next. And the Rams at Indianapolis, 44.5, which I find interesting because we're a week away from Cooper Kupp coming back, right? So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. The run game for the Titans, I feel like the Colts. I feel like Jonathan Taylor should be coming back. Why do they let me have nitric acid? We have nitric acid and sulfuric and hydrochloric. We got all of it. They trust me with acids, Gladys. It's hard to explain. But they do. But I know that if I dropped it, I'd lose my job. I could end up in jail. Yeah, but no, the Broncos guys making $10 million a year, they're fine. They'll just turn up to work the next day and drum 600 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6 are coming. Either way, we're going to look at the game picks for the night. I went over that. The game I think we have to get on. I think it's obvious we're going to get on Miami at Buffalo. Implied total 53.5. How could it not be after what we saw from the Dolphins? And to be fair, Buffalo was chugging along. They're getting there. They're kind of thereabouts. They're not doing. I thought they'd start off as slow as they have. It doesn't feel like their team is regenerated like others have. So for me to see them not really light the world on fire, it's not really a surprise. Pick number 1, we're going to attack of lower than 285.5 passing yards, which has now dropped to 274.5. So now it's a bit of a hole. If you said 275, maybe I could see it. 285.5. But Dan, he's gone 400 yards. I know. It's also the Bills. Look, it's hard to bet against a guy that's in the running for the MVP. I understand that. But look, it's Tuesday and we're half full and we're half lit. Thanks for coming, Jack and Coke. No dramas. But that's why. Look, across 3 games this year, the Bills' pass D has been stout. They've only averaged around about 165 passing yards a game. So we've got that going on. Now, I know that includes Jimmy Garoppolo, Zach Wilson, and Sam Howell. I know. I know they're not really quarterbacks. They're barely like athletes at this point. Like I look at Sam Howell, like I think I could beat him in a race. I'm not gonna lie. I reckon I could outsprint him. So that tells you what I think. Zach Wilson, he couldn't hit anything. The only thing worth hitting in his family is his mum. Either way, a murderous row it is not. However, although Tua Tagovailoa has hit 341 on average this year, he averages 246 a game in his career versus the Bills, but he does hit 266 on average away from home. It's a tight one. I can see the Bills holding on to it a little bit more, keeping him off the field. To be fair, he's been able to get away with it. You look at like the games he's had, someone like the Chargers, they're just going to give the ball back. Games are going to be quick. Oh, I shouldn't press that. Yep, there we go, Gladys. Yep, exactly. Pick number 2, James Cook. We're going higher than 60.5 rushing yards, which has now come down to 55.5. So I think a lot of people are hitting the unders on this one, hitting lower on that one. I for one, am not. Look, I'm not going to say that chasing Cook's production to open the season has been easy. It hasn't. It's been up and down. You want to go high, you want to go lower. He always does. He's Tyreek Hill and Christian McCaffrey. He does the opposite of what you want him to do. It sucks. All right? It hasn't been easy, but what we can say, he has gone over 95 rushing yards on 2 out of 3 to open the season, while the Dolphins have coughed up the 6 months rushing yards to open the season with about 110 on average per game. So he's given us 95 rushing yards in 2 out of 3 games, and the Dolphins are letting people run on him to a degree. So why are we not going higher on something we know we can do? It makes no sense. Pick number 3, Josh Allen, higher than 265.5 passing yards, is now up to 273.5. I'm going to hold on that one. I want to see if it comes back down. I already got it earlier. Yay for me. But, it's come up a little bit more. I want to see how the market goes with this because everyone's obviously pushing that up, pushing up. Obviously what happened after the Dolphins game, everyone thinks is going to blow up. But I get it at 53.5. It very well could. Look, the Dolphins have been stellar this year, and the Bills, for whatever reason, they have not flashed. They've somewhat underwhelmed. And Allen in the box score has been the same, going over 240 passing yards only once this year. And that was also in week 1, and it was also against the Raiders. So it's not like, he's smashing teams like Tua and the Dolphins have. He hasn't. He's just, coasting along to a degree. But the Dolphins, they're not the Raiders, but to say, they've been pushed, by quarterbacks, it just hasn't happened. But, it wasn't until this week, first the Broncos, they had over 200 passing yards dropped on them either. And that was Russell Wilson and all that sort of stuff. So, Allen's last 6-game average is 271 versus the Dolphins. His last 2 games, he's had 340 yards piled up, 300-yard game and a 400-yard game piled on them, both at home. I think this is his wake-up game. This is it. It's happening. Either way, so that's our morning picks for the weekend. Yeah, that's what we like. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. Either way, we're going to look at the afternoon games. We're looking at Las Vegas at the Chargers. Play total of 48, which feels like that's a little high considering Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe I'm wrong, but he was in the concussion protocol, right? Someone can clarify with that. He's in the concussion protocol, and that was at 48. So, like, if you're a betting man or woman or, cactus, doesn't really matter. If you're a betting person, I don't know, like, concussion protocols, they're spotty at best. Like, you could maybe get some good action on that 48 going lower. And maybe Aiden O'Connell gets in and whatever happens, happens. Patriots at Dallas. Over under 43. Dallas, what's up? What's up, Dallas? Even we came back and beat the Cardinals. What's up? What's good? Huh? 43.5. Jesus. There's only one prop in that first game. That's Josh Jacobs, and not much in the Pats-Dallas game. So I'm going to hit up the other game of the afternoon. Thank God we're going to go to Arizona and San Fran because at least we could talk about 2 decent teams this week. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about the Chargers. God damn, they suck. You beat Minnesota. Congrats. What do you want, a medal? All of a sudden they're better than the Cardinals. Okay. What, because they got Justin Herbert? They suck. All that money on a defense and they can't stop anyone. Either way, pick number 1, we go Brock Purdy lower than 229.5 passing yards with a caveat. If Brendan Ayuk turns up, we're going to go higher. All right, we're gonna hedge the bet there, so we can hold on this one for a while. Get some more news on Ayuk. He had the shoulder injury, missed out on the Giants on the short week. I feel like he's probably going to play. They seem to think he was going to play last week, but he didn't. Look, the reality is he doesn't have to go higher. I know that's weird to say, but he just doesn't have to. He could get to like 200 yards and they could score 40 points, which is kind of maddening. Look, he's only ever been over that once this year, and that was on Thursday nights against the Giants. But it seems like the 49ers brass are content with him banging in 200 yards and letting an arrangement of runners do the work for him. I don't think he'll have to push the middle that much this week. And, I think it'll be tight for 215 at home. I think you get the 215, 220. It's going to be tight. 229.5 is probably the max where you're at. So I'm okay going lower on that. Pick number 2, unfortunately, we're going lower again. James Conner, lower than 57.5 rushing yards. He's had a good year. I really don't like betting against him because he always does this. He starts off well and then, doesn't. Look, if you want to see a man run into a brick wall for 3 hours for no reason, this is the game for you. Tune in this week, grab a seat, check this out. 49ers are barely coughing up 50 yards a game, and all of a sudden, this is the way to go. Like, this is what's happening. In 3 games for the Cardinals, he's crossed 45 yards just once. And the way San Fran is firing, I'd be surprised if much else changes. Pick number 3, because we will. I'm not going to do it. I'm not betting against McCaffrey. We're going to go Christian McCaffrey higher than half a receiving touchdown or rushing receiving touchdown. Look, the prop hasn't dropped yet. It will. Get on it. Get on it. As soon as McCaffrey gets a touchdown prop, get on it. That's what you're going to do this week. Look, the Cardinals have coughed up 3 receiving touchdowns this year to the running backs, where he tied for the most across the year with Chicago and Denver. Ironically, McCaffrey's yet to have a receiving touchdown. But we're going to get on it at half a rushing receiving touchdown. He's been smacking him in that way about one a game on the ground otherwise, so we can trust him. Why do I do this one? I can't even read that. It's too small. I have to expand the screen. Damn it, Gladys. I can't read it. I think ever since Tua, no one in the concussion protocol has ever come back in 1 week. Yeah, it's crazy to think that, like, Garoppolo's going to just turn up. You know what I mean? I feel like not that teams shouldn't be scared of the concussion protocol and the repercussions of it. They should be. But it kind of felt pretty innocuous. Oh, yeah, he's in the concussion protocol. I mean, Anthony Richardson missed a week, right? Like, it wasn't beyond them to rest him for a week. It happens. So for the implied total to be at 48 now while he's in the concussion protocol, it feels like he can get on that safely now, because it's not going to change once he comes back. So that's where we're at. Primetime games, which is unfortunate for us because guess what? The Jets are playing on Sunday night against Kansas. There's like no props. There's 2 props. It's like Zach Wilson lower than like 165, which could happen. Mahomes, I think, is at 285. No, and Kelsey has 71.5 and half a touchdown. And for this game, I guess we're gonna get on this one. So I really don't want to get on this one. The Jets are just the drizzling shits, aren't they? I just don't want to even talk about them. This is what we're going to do. We're going to say Mahomes lower than 285.5 because he just doesn't have to. We're going to say Kelsey higher than 71.5. Travis Kelsey higher than half a touchdown. And Zach Wilson lower than 165.5. I'm going to cover the whole game for you. Done. Pick number 1, Travis Kelsey higher than half a touchdown. It's him high. He's the tight end. It's him. The Jets, again, don't give up much to the position because, tight ends suck. But, Pharaoh Brown had like a 70-yard touchdown last week. That's what we're doing. A 70-yard touchdown of Pharaoh Brown against the Jets last week for the Patriots. God, kill me. That happened. People were watching. Ugh. I really don't even want to talk. Listen, just wait till the end of the week and get on the IDP props. Just hit the overs on, hit the higher on the Chiefs defense players, tackling higher. That's it. Sacks, do it. That's where we're at. But no, in all fairness, the Jets, they give up about 55 yards a game to the tight end, which is, it's pretty decent at this point. But Kelsey's Kelsey, 71.5 and half a touchdown. I'm going higher on both for him. Pick number 2, we're going to go to the Giants and Seahawks game because that's literally all you've got for Sunday night. That's what we're doing to ourselves. We're going to head over to the Giants-Seahawks game, and I know we're going to cover this on Monday night, but I'm going to give you a bit of a taster for it because I don't want to talk about the Chiefs and Jets. It's my show. It's the B-League show, and I just don't want to do it. I got nothing more to add on that. They're the 4 props we have: Mahomes yards, Kelsey yards, touchdowns, and Zach Wilson. That's it. But we're going to go to Geno Smith lower than 253.5 passing yards. against his former team as he was a New York Giant icon. Look, it's not like he can't. And I've mentioned this before with like Mahomes, facetiously with Mahomes, but Brock Purdy, I just don't think he has to. He doesn't have to go over 253.5 against the Giants. That's the reality. Look, he's had 328, 296 in back-to-back weeks, but now that he gets the Giants to allow like everyone to run all over them. So the Giants have given up only 227 yards per game, passing yards per game on average to quarterbacks to open the year. And, that's Dak Prescott. Okay, Josh Dobbs, it's not there, but, even Brock Purdy. So they've played the game managers already this year. Like, I can't believe they just called Dak a game manager. Either way, something to chew on there. Is Dak Prescott a game manager? There you go. Discuss in the chat. But yeah, I just don't see him having to go above and beyond what they're going to do because we can't stop the run, which leads me to my next pick. Kenneth Walker higher than half a touchdown. Look, it's bad enough the Giants are offering up 120 yards per game of the ground. Mind you, to be fair, they've opened the season against Tony Pollard, James Conner, and Christian McCaffrey. That's a tough start to the year for opposition running backs. They've been belted. Giants have had a pretty rough start to the year in regards to this. I could go on all day about the schedule. Mind you, we have Buffalo and Miami in our next two games, both on the road. How do you go from home to Dallas, Arizona on the road, we win, San Fran on the road, we get Seattle at home, prime time again, and then on the road to Buffalo and Miami? I want that guy's job that thinks he knows how to put a schedule together. I want that guy's job because that guy sucks. All right, that's where I'm going with that. Look, Giants are now offering more than one touchdown per game with 4 allowed so far in 3 games, which is not where you want to be. Now, Geno, MetLife, primetime, how he handles the reunion, pushing the ball down the field, that's one thing. Giants stopping Walker is another. I feel good about this one as Walker himself has 4 scores for the year, all of which have been in back-to-back games, so 2 in the last 2 games. So I kind of like that for him this week as well. Gladys, do not take my pick from Monday night. Either way. What's Jamie got here? What do we got here? I can't read that. I've got to expand the screen. You're killing me. And expand. I heard if you bet the underdog team on the money line to win, but also bet the under points for every game this season, you'll make a problem. I have no idea. If you bet or beat the underdog team. Either way. Too late to pick taken. Thanks, Gladys. Either way. My favorite 3 picks for the week, I'm going to give you those. I really like James Cook higher than 55.5 rushing yards this week. I feel like that's a lot. Well, actually, we're going to go the whole running backs. James Conner, lower than 57.5 rushing yards. We're going to get on Kenneth Walker higher than 1 touchdown or half a touchdown. He's going to have 1 touchdown. Get on that one. Half a touchdown, over. Higher. No overs, just highs. There we go. What a mess of a show, but we got to 23 minutes. We just waffled on about the Browns for 3.5 at the start. Thanks, Jamie, for I like the Browns this week. I think they're going to get a win. Baltimore, they weren't that impressive against the Colts last week. That's against Gardner Minshew. Anyone can beat them. Let's recap. Before we do, we're going to get on that one promo again from Jeff because let's face it, holy crap! If you've been on the fence about joining Underdog Fantasy, you need to get off the fence for a limited time, 1 week until 10/4. You can get up to a $500 deposit match through 10/4, hashtag pick'em over at underdogfantasy.com. Use promo code GF2 to get on that. As always, head over to our YouTube, subscribe to Going for Two Live. Hit the alert button, find shows like this. Find in no particular order. Find the 2-point conversion. Find the cheat sheet. Find Speak on it. Find all of them. Get over to our Discord as well, Going for Two server. It's a free server full of everything you need. Starts, sits, dynasty trades, everything you think of in regards to fantasy football. As such, it's a free server as well. Again, not promoting X or Twitter. That can kick rocks. Let's go over these picks one more time. Game picks for the morning. We looked at Miami at Buffalo, over under higher implied total of 53.5. How could it not be Tua Tagovailoa lower than 285.5 passing yards? It's since dropped to 274.5. We're going to hold and see if that number tinkers back up again. Pick number 2, James Cook, higher than 60.5 rushing yards. As always, it's come down again to 55.5, which we're getting on still no matter what. Another one, Josh Allen, higher than 265.5 passing yards. That's now up to 273.5. For now, we're going to hold. We're going to see if that drops a little bit more towards the end of the week. Afternoon game, we checked out on Arizona at San Fran. Brock Purdy higher. Sorry, Brock Purdy lower than 229.5 passing yards, with the caveat if Brandon Oak plays were going up over that as well. Pick number 2, James Conner lower than 57.5 rushing yards. And pick number 3, Christian McCaffrey higher than half rushing receiving touchdown for this week. Primetime games, we see Kansas at the Jets and Seattle at the Giants. Oh, New York have both doubleheader. No one cares. We're going to go over with that. Travis Kelce higher than half a touchdown. He can go higher than 71.5 receiving yards. Pick number 2, Geno Smith lower than 253.5 passing yards. And pick number 3, Kenneth Walker higher than half a touchdown this week. Breathe. Always got to breathe. 25 minutes. Yeah, I did it again. It's like a Britney Spears reference, but it's been all T-Swizzle this week, right? Had enough of that. That can yeah. No, we don't need that in our life anymore. But anyways, we're going to end the stream as it were. Take advantage of that promo. Promo code GF2, $500 matching deposit. Holy crap, that's $1 in your pocket. And then you can watch shows like this and just gamble it away. That's what I'd be doing. Anyway, thanks for staying with me this week. It's been a pleasure. We're going to kick on into next week. Remember, the bye week start next week. London game, Atlanta, Jacksonville. Jacksonville's going to move. No one wants to go to Orlando anyway. Thank you, Jamie. Thanks for coming in. Everybody, remember, check out the YouTubes, check out the Discords. Don't worry about X. No one cares about that. Get that promo code GF2, $500 matching deposit for 1 week. Over at underdogfantasy.com and bye for now.